So I got Brent Hughes here, Chef Brent Hughes.
Yes.
And I've now relocated to North Carolina, for those of you who didn't know. So I live officially in the South, not like the Washington, D.C. South.
Right.
But the South
Not
South.
the legal South, but the real
The
South.
actual South, right.
The voter suppression South.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's happening right now. So what people who know me and have, spent time together in New York say to me when they knew that I moved to North Carolina was they picture me rocking in a rocking chair on my front step, sipping some type of old time lemonade. Right? I don't
juleps.
Yeah, with like a Cracker Jack hat on or something, and that's not what's happening. So when I got down here, a good buddy of mine came up from Charlotte, and he said we went out to eat somewhere, and he said, "Oh man, you got to get the sweet tea." And I was like, bro, I don't really do sugary drinks like that. I don't, He's like, dog, it's the champagne of the South. You got to do it. So I did it. And to my chagrin, because it was delicious where we went, right? And then I went on this like bender, like an addict.
Sweet tea.
For like months of sweet tea and gained nasty, disgusting, looks at my body that I don't want to see again until I finally kicked the habit of sweet tea. So at my table in my kitchen today, I have Chef Brent Hughes, and he just finished a glass of my homemade tea, which has no sugar in it.
No sugar.
But how was it?
It was delicious. I prefer my tea. I'm not a sweet tea person either. Even though I will give it to them here, they don't have the powdered Lipton tea. You can tell it's actual tea bags.
Yeah. So it's good.
The Super Fantastic Show.
Last time you were on the show, bro, you introduced the Dopaliscious.
The Dopaliscious, an art-inspired dining experience.
We posted it, and I'm not taking credit for anything because you're awesome. But I know that you sold out in one day.
Sold out.
Because it was a monstrous.
It moved pretty quickly, I must say.
So now we're announcing again. From my kitchen, by the way, because Chef Hughes has come all the way down to North Carolina, sitting in my kitchen, has went to the grocery store, has got all types of stuff waiting over there to cook.
Yes.
In preparation for the Dopaliscious, which is coming up in Washington, D.C. in October.
Yes.
And we're going to do some talking about it. What was the first Dopaliscious you did? What was it again?
Outcast, Southern Playalistic, Cadillac music.
Now, I need you to re-explain what Crumbling Herb was. What was Crumbling Herb, the drink that you made there?
So Crumbling Herb, it was an herbal old-fashioned. So what we did, we made a simple syrup with lavender. And then we took that lavender, strained it out, and then candied that lavender, ground it up, and then put it around the rim and also sprinkled some in the drink. And then as we were serving the drink, we passed around some fresh picked lemon thyme, and we had the guests take the thyme in their fingers and crumble it, and so that released the essential oils and added some deliciousness. And as you put it up to your drink, you get that fresh lemon thyme, you get the lavender.
How long does something like that take? Did you get help from a bartender to come and like let's play with some stuff? You just were at home, like
I was a bartender too at one point.
Right.
I've done a lot of different things in my life.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized I wanted to cook. I figured the easiest way to get into a restaurant was as a bartender. So I've been a bartender too, and I have a lot of experience with alcohol outside of a professional setting. Right. So and it's. I'm a whiskey guy, so that was an easy thing to come up with too. So it was like, how are you going to do the crumbling herb? And I was like, this would be a way. And it also came in a place in the album where we try to get a drink every 2 or 3 courses.
Okay.
So it fell in that window too. So that was how we came up with that.
Then you did Reasonable Doubt.
Yes, Reasonable Doubt. More at stake than Philly. So Philly cheesesteak seems simple, right? Everybody does Philly cheesesteak. But what we did, we took ribeye, we charred it, and then we sous vide it, which is we vacuum sealed it with herbs, garlic, salt, pepper, and slowly cooked it to perfectly medium rare over like 8 hours. So took it out of there, put it in the freezer for a little bit, sliced it like paper thin.
Right.
Then we made our own cheese sauce with nice, wonderful Tillamook cheddar, and had caramelized onions,
Mm-hmm.
had a little sauteed mushrooms, and then we had a little truffle oil.
Did you serve it in a roll, or was it?
We made our own brioche rolls.
Oh man!
So yeah, it's everything is. We try to do everything from scratch. So
Right.
nothing comes in. Everything is broken down and created as we go.
What happened after Reasonable Doubt?
Reasonable Doubt. After that, we did. Which one was next? I think the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was next. And here's what was funny with that. I had a friend request this one, and because usually what we've done is like had seatings at other places, but this was some friends were coming to the house, and then because she's an anesthesiologist, they couldn't make it up when we had the other event, so they were like, "Look, we coming up. We want Lauryn Hill," and I was like, "Well, which album?" And she was like, "She only had one," and I was like, "That's right. She had that album and the Unplugged."
Right.
So it was like I was like, that album was dope.
Yeah.
And so I listened to it and again and again. And listening to it at 42, you listen to it differently than when you're in your 20s. And it was like a lot of stuff in there. So
I mean, immediately the songs come to mind.
yeah, so it's like
Everything is everything. Zion.
Okay, Zion. That's what it was. So for Zion, we did I made my own jerk. And we did a jerk seasoning, and then we had the accompaniment. We did a ginger beer with a lime juice and rum. So that's what it
nice.
was. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Like a
Jamaican theme. Yeah,
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What else?
Tribe Called Quest,
Which album?
first one.
Mm-hmm.
People's Instinctive Travels.
That leaves you a lot of growth room, because if you start there, like if you went straight to like not even Low End Theory, if you went to like Midnight Marauders, people might see it as the pinnacle of the thing.
And it kind of just fell that way because I started with. I mean, I'd originally had this idea years ago, right? So it was. It finally came into fruition last year, but it ended up being that first set was all debuts,
Right.
all debut albums. So I was like, oh. So I'm working on the cookbook now, which is going to be debuts, and it's going to be that first series of
Nice.
of menus in there. So Tribe Called Quest. This one was more of a. This was more of a sit down dinner. The others were, like you said, 8 to 10 courses. So this was more of a, I think it was 4 courses, sit down dinner. So I did a chestnut dressing and a turkey breast roulade with, I made peri peri cranberry sauce. So, you know, peri peri, the spicy, and then the cranberry sauce with it was that. So I still can't remember the lyric that came from.
I mean, you went straight Thanksgiving like interpretation.
Yeah, it was November-ish. It was October, November time.
Right.
And then there was a lyric about turkey or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But that's how I got to the Thanksgiving theme. And again, it was sit down dinner, so that made sense too.
Right. Was that the last one in the first series, or is there another one?
I would say yes. I also did a J Dilla brunch. And that
how you discluding
that wasn't really a debut. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that's why I was kind of like, that was kind of a separate thing. And the thing there that people love, of course, you know, the theme is always donuts.
Right.
So I did a donut French toast casserole.
Okay.
So donut French toast. Yeah.
Casserole.
Yeah. So
Casserole?
So you just,
You deep fry the donuts
yep.
with
And
egg batter, cinnamon.
Plain, you know, do the donuts.
Okay.
And then make your mix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cut up the donuts, put them in a pan, cover it, leave it overnight,
Mhm.
and bake it.
Mm.
Then
You serve it with like powdered sugar.
I did whipped cream, and I made a like a mixed berry warm sauce to go on top of it.
The brunch. What else was in there? You got to give me something else.
It was. See, the thing was the album. Well, the songs they picked. What made it difficult? The songs they picked were like instrumentals.
Okay.
And I go off of lyrics.
Right.
So
Right.
it was kind of like, you're killing me, Smalls. So it was,
I could
but
imagine.
it was that was, again, I took that as a challenge. It was like, okay, so I got to listen to this. And I think it was, Only Two Can Win was one of them. So I did, eggs 2 ways. So I did like a, frittata and a muffin, an egg muffin. So it was basically, you put the egg in the muffin pan, mix it with other
That had to be the craziest thing ever, because I'm just going through JD beats in my head, and I'm like, that I could interpret this beat in a whole billion different ways. Yeah, it could mean nothing to somebody.
And that's the beauty of this as a whole, because it's like everybody gets something different out of lyrics.
Yeah.
Everybody gets something different out of songs. Mm-hmm. And it's like to take that and translate my interpretation into food is, somebody else could listen to a song, come with something completely different.
Right.
And that's the beauty. And I could listen to it again and come up with a completely different menu.
Right.
So
the cookbook's coming.
Yes. I've never done this before, so we're going to see how that works out. And that's part of my issue. Well, one of the challenges, I'll say it that way, of getting into this line of business is I do a lot of stuff in my head.
Right.
So it's like now,
how do you get that out?
How do you get that out?
Yeah.
To make sense. I can get it out, but it might not make sense.
Yeah.
Might not be something that anyone else can follow. And it's that's part of it. It's because a lot of things that we did, like the short ribs we did for Outkast, we sous vide them for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not going to have a immersion circulator and a industrial vacuum sealer to do that sort
of
thing.
Are you going to do recipes from the dinners? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
The recipes from the dinners. And I'm going to do how we did it. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm debating if I'm going to give you that option to do the simple version. Because part of it is
people don't like the trick, bro. They only like the magic.
Yeah.
So you got to give them the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to do it, you got to do it.
Right.
There's no easy way.
Most people aren't going to do it anyway. You just have to make a beautiful book.
And that's kind of the goal. Yeah. Because I'm looking at it like it's going to be more of a coffee table book with a lot of beautiful photos and stories about, my experience with the album, my experience developing the menu, serving the menu, and then other people's, some of the guests' ideas on the menu and the album, what it meant to them. And so it's not just going to be a series of recipes. It's going to be something that even if you're not going to cook it, it's something you're going to pick up and look at and enjoy. And,
So on the business side, what are some of the lessons you learned on the way here? Because you started from, hey, this is like a twinkling in my eye. And then now it's, you're going to full blown production beyond, like you're basically quadrupling in size at your next event. Yeah. So, and I think it's awesome. I think it's well deserved.
It's terrifying.
What have you learned on the way? Give me like a couple lessons that you might have. What did you
plan, prepare, and get the right people to help you? Because it's just like anything, you can't do anything by yourself. So it's I had a lot of people help me in the kitchen, and that was really people would, like you said, I'm an engineer. I've been cooking for off and on, like really cooking for maybe 4 or 5 years. So I have friends and people that have helped me. It's like, hey, this is the idea I have. And they'll say, well, let's just do it this way. Still, the core of it is what I had, but they had add something to it.
And you feel like they add to it, not take away from your vision.
Add to it. Add to it. So it's always been you can always come up with ideas in your head that make perfect sense. When you say it's somebody else, they'll add something to it, or say, why don't you do it this way? Or
right. If you were to envision your dream event at this level, so I'm not talking about I'll rent the whole island of Hawaii and then we'll bury 30 pigs. No,
that sounds kind of dope. Let me hold about 50,000.
You think that's all it's going to take?
That can be started. That'll take care of me.
At this level right now where you are, you're about to take on a dinner with you're seating 40 people on Friday night of the greatest show on earth, Howard University Homecoming. Okay. So if it could be not this event, because I don't want to taint this event like, whatever. But let's say you were going to follow that up with a New Year's Eve thing. You're going to do the biggest show on earth, New Year's Eve, Dopaliscious. What would it be?
So it's funny you say New Year's Eve. It's funny you say New Year's Eve because I'm already thinking about New Year's Eve coming up. And it's kind of in that same vein. If you think New Year's Eve, you think Outkast, you think all the players came from far and wide.
You don't think you're a little biased towards Outkast?
I'm hella biased, bro.
Right.
I'll say there's depending on the day or the time of day you ask me, I'm between Outkast and De La Soul.
Okay.
The event would be I'll say this 2 ways. I would love to do a Dungeon Family themed party. So you got past hors d'oeuvres going around all night, maybe 15 different songs, so 15 different dishes. but it's a players' ball, New Year's Eve in Atlanta. I would love to get them to play, but if that would be possible,
right?
But in addition to that, looking at the whole artistic interpretation, the hip hop I like is storytelling, right? So you all have the story. You have a finite story that's in a song. So I want to have like sort of a dinner theater type of thing, where you have artists that have created something, either prequels or sequels to that song. So something building up. What happened before that? Right. What happens after that? And then in addition to that, I also want to have visual artists that come in and pick different songs and do a visual interpretation of a story or something within the song. That's how I envision a Dopaliscious coming to, eventually get to that.
I got a couple quick bullets for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to do a Dopaliscious based on one of the following three choices, what would it be and why? You said storytellers. Would you rather do a Dopaliscious based on Slick Rick, the works of Biggie Smalls, or the work of Raekwon the Chef?
If you can't say Raekwon without Ghostface, so I'm changing your question.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Ghost and Ray,
Ray,
Slick Rick, or Biggie. Is that your choice? That's your answer?
Yeah, that's my answer.
All right,
that's
round two.
Answer.
Round two.
Answer. Yep.
You're going to do a Dopaliscious based on one of the three films. Carlito's Way, Godfather 2,
for the 5 Heartbeats.
Scarface.
Let's say 5 Heartbeats.
These are all Al Pacino films, by the way.
I got to go with Godfather. Again, I have a lot more to choose from.
You're going to do a Dopaliscious based on one of the following three Denzel Washington films. Glory, Malcolm X, Training Day.
Always got pork, so we can't do Malcolm X.
Okay. All right. I accept that.
Training Day, or what was the first one again?
Glory, which is a tough one too.
Glory.
Really?
I gotta do Glory.
How do you interpret the
I
food?
have no idea.
Glory? Glory was like chitlins and sliced melon.
And you know what? People are starting to pay $50 for a plate of chitlins nowadays, so you never know. But Glory would be the challenge, especially considering where it sits in history. And I actually got some friends that have worked closer with Civil War history, and they hate that movie.
Now, you gave me the 5 Heartbeats, so I should take it out of this question.
Oh, you had it in this question?
Well, I added a question because you said the 5 Heartbeats. So the question that I wrote down, and we might have to take 5 Heartbeats out because you obviously are leaning that way. If you were to do a Dopaliscious based on one of the following three movies, 5 Heartbeats, The Temptations movie, or Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight, just like that. Just like that.
Yeah, period.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it because I've already I started working on that anyway, straight out of the Dopaliscious. Everybody they were doing those little things. So yeah, definitely Straight Outta Compton. Okay. Because of its, that's more the album than the movie, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. Name one Marvel character.
I know that's off my.
What?
I don't know between Marvel and DC. Super Batman, Aqua.
You just lost your whole comic book card.
I never had one. I never had one. I'm just learning about all that stuff now. I wasn't a comic book guy.
Okay. All right.
I would be Mad and Crack, but that was about it.
Yeah, Mad was great, especially the back cover where you fold it into the thirds and you get some odd picture that your parents shouldn't see. Like Alfred E. Newman's nose turns into a penis or something.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. So who's your favorite Marvel character?
Oh, favorite Marvel character would probably be the Hulk. Unstoppable, bro.
Like up until 2 years ago, I didn't know Marvel and DC were two different things.
Okay, anything that ends with man is DC. Like they have the corny names. So dope characters. But if you're a Superman, Catwoman, Batman, Aquaman, that's, you don't have Wolverine Man. That's just corny.
Okay.
Right.
Now I know.
Mm-hmm. So you got that. That's it.
Well-versed.
And they also did a lot of, in DC, they do a lot of, what do you call it when is it alliterations? When you have two of the first names like
alliteration.
Like Johnny Jones is coming over shortly. Right. Yeah, so they do that. So,
I do watch the shows. I watched, what was it?
Jessica Jones. That's an awesome show.
And
Netflix is crushing it right now.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it. That's what you watch Stranger Things?
And we watched Stranger. I love Stranger Things. Tell me how emotive the girl's 11's face was. That girl's going a long way as an actress.
First off, when she walked into the diner, I was like, how does he know it's a girl? I couldn't tell.
I had no idea.
I thought it was the boy that was missing.
He kept calling her girl, and I was like, how do they know it's a girl? Like, was there a check that we didn't know about? Was there a spot check?
I thought it was the boy that was missing at first when he came in.
Right, because I didn't, you didn't really register what his face looked like and everything.
Right.
But I just thought, as an actress,
yeah, she's killing it.
She blew it away because the emotion that she was able to cover in her face was just like, I believe you.
Right.
I take my money.
And I just saw a video today where she was doing some Nicki Minaj.
It's like lip syncing the drink? Okay, that's funny.
And her name is like Millie Bobby Brown. I'm like, you're a rapper already. Millie Bobby Brown.
Was she French or British?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
What else have you watched lately?
Oh, The Night Of. That ends.
I just finished watching The Night
Sunday.
Of. No, it's over. Over. No. I don't know if you might not have seen it, but it's over.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the series finale just happened.
It was Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
The Night Of.
Really?
When I saw, let's say there's 6 episodes, right? By the second to last episode, after it was over, they came up with the screen that then said series finale next week. And I was like, how are you at the series finale?
How are you going to wrap this up?
Yeah, because there was nothing.
I haven't seen it. I didn't. Okay.
Bro.
Yes, I got to catch this.
Let me tell you what they did really well. After it's all said and done, and it has nothing to do with the outcome of the story, was they made me really understand how a bad reflection of justice, the justice system actually is.
I saw that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I kind of saw that coming in because it was, I mean, of course, that he's going to get, he's going to get charged with a crime at the beginning. You knew that coming in.
Right.
So when you're watching him in the first episode, you're like, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
I'm like,
don't go in there.
Buy a firehouse. You go get a ticket or you get
What was that? They didn't even address that. They didn't even address the fact that he parked on a hydrant.
Well, I think he had enough other.
Yeah, he had another.
that was the least of his worries.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot there was a well.
But the thing was, there's this template in one of my books, and it's like the image of God. And then there's this water horizon, and below that is the reflection in the water, and it's distorted, right? And it's supposed to be the reflection of God in man, and But that plate came to mind. It's one of my favorites of all time, and it's. In that show, you just see like there is a justice that we all have in mind, and then there's this system that really has nothing to do with justice. It's like if you tried to draw a picture with your eyes blindfolded, that picture would look like crap. If you had your eyes open, maybe you could draw a nice facsimile thereof or whatever like that. But it's really just like this really has nothing to do with justice. It really has to do with each part has a job to do, and they're just trying to do their job or not doing their job.
Or not do their job, right.
And the totality of what comes out is this mishmash of jobs done, has nothing to do with justice.
We did our job.
Right.
And don't want to have that conversation now either, but we see it so much in society now. It's obvious. It's like, some people get justice, some people don't.
I don't know that anybody gets justice.
I was about to, I said that, I was like,
some people can afford to buy the outcome they want. Some people can't.
Can't afford.
Some people get lucky and, whatever.
Good point.
So what are we doing today? Because I know we're cooking.
So basically, I just wanted to recreate some things and create some new things based on what we've done with the Dopaliscious, just so we could, like I said, I need to practice on some things that we've done before to work up to the cookbook. Because again, we've done a lot of stuff there, but it's now I need to start refining it and documenting what I've done to make sure.
So we got the cameras rolling today.
Yes.
We're going to play around. We're going to taste some things, and then we're going to... Okay, so I'm going to come back. We're going to actually stop the recording, and we're going to start cooking shortly. And then I'm going to check back in with you guys, and I'm going to do my best to describe what I smell. And then I'm also going to take some pictures. And then also, before we even get off that, when is your event? It's October, and where is it?
It is going to be October, what is that, the 21st?
21st is a Friday, yeah.
Yes, and it's
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C., and it's going to be at each place on Georgia Avenue. Depending on what you did during your time in Georgia Avenue, I could either say...
Don't do it. It's just on Eats. It's just called Eats Place. It's on Georgia Avenue in Washington, D.C.
It's either down from Sweet Mango or up from the Penthouse. So, one of those points of references. If you went to Howard, you know where I'm talking about.
Right. And if you didn't, you spent any time in D.C., those things are probably both still there.
You know, you've at least been to one.
By New Hampshire and George Avenue.
Exactly.
And so we're going to do Southern Playalistic Cadillac music. No,
ATLians.
ATLians. Okay,
yes.
Good. And do you have a website where people can buy tickets, or what are you going to do?
Yes, you can go to hughesfoods.com, and there's a link there for the Eventbrite to buy tickets for the Friday event.
Boom. Let's wash our hands and get cooking.
All right.